and welcome back to my channel, Welshman Reviews. I'm Gareth, and today I'm going to be doing a 3-movie cinema review. So these are the last 3 movies I watched in the cinema. Yes, I should have done reviews for the first 2 a week or 2 ago. I should have the last couple of weeks that I watched them, but been a bit lackadaisy on that stage, so I thought I'd do a little roundup in this video. So the first movie we're going to check on is Argylle. So this movie is directed by Matthew Vaughn, who done the Kingsman movies, also X-Men First Class as well. The movie does star Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, Henry Cavill, Bryan Cranston, Dua Lipa, Richard E. Grant does a cameo in this as well. John Cena's also in this as well in certain scenes. So the plot of the movie is an author, Ellie Conway, who is Bryce Dallas Howard's character. Life gets turned upside down when she is told by a spy, Aidan Wilde, who's played by Sam Rockwell, that what she writes in her books actually comes to life and must protect her so she can finish the last couple of chapters and help him take down the evil organisation, the Division, who is out to get her, who is run by director-writer. So Bryan Cranston's the bad guy chasing her down and that. So that's pretty much the gist of the plot. There is a little bit more into it than all that, but I don't really want to spoil it. There is a few twists in this movie, or a twist in this movie, which, to be honest, when you watch the movie, you can see coming a mile away, and most people might know it now, but I still won't spoil it in this video. I won't. So, but yeah, it's a very good movie. I really enjoyed it. If you like Matthew Vaughn's previous movies, especially The Kingsman, this is like a PG Kingsman. A lot of deaths in this movie, but not a lot of blood or gore or anything. Kind of played more in the comedic value of this movie as well. But yeah, very well done indeed. I'll go into some of my positives and things. So I got mainly positives for this movie. So it is a fun action comedy. I did enjoy the action scenes in this, especially the ones where Sam Rockwell's character's fighting, and in Bryce Dallas Howard's mind, kind of he switches back and forth from him, Sam Rockwell, to Henry Cavill's character. So Sam Rockwell's character's having a bit more difficulty taking down these people, but when she changes to Henry Cavill, it's like that type of movie where he has ease taking out these people and all that. So I did enjoy the action scenes in this. We do get a couple at the end as well, where Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell does like a dance routine type of thing, and taking out the villains of the movie as well. And there is also one very funny scene on, this is all I'm going to say for it, ice skating on oil. That's all I'm going to say for that. You've got to watch it to believe it, to be honest. It is. But yeah, enjoyed the action scenes. I enjoyed the comedy. I did laugh out quite loud on with this one quite a few times in this movie, especially Sam Rockwell's disdain for the cat in the movie as well. Great chemistry around the movie. I think Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell have a really great dynamic together on screen. Bryan Cranston as well, you know, just brilliant overall. What the little we see of Henry Cavill and John Cena and people like that do a good job as well altogether it is. But yeah, very good chemistry going out for the thing. Like I said, very fun and well directed. I like Matthew Vaughn's movies. I like his way he directs and action and stuff like that. So yeah, very well done. So mainly positives. I think there's only a couple of negatives. Well, one really throughout the whole movie is most of the storyline for this movie and that you've seen in other spy movies and that, and a little bit like Total Recall as well. If you've seen the movie, you kind of know what I mean about that. But my only downfall really is that we have seen these storylines done before and probably done a bit better than what this movie does. But that doesn't take it away from the movie. I still think it is a very fun movie, and I can't wait to own it on physical media and watch it again. So I give this a very positive 7 out of 10. So let's get on to the next movie. Right, so we're back onto the second film. As you can see, it is The Iron Claw. So this one is directed by Sean Durkin. He did write this as well. It stars Zac Efron as the oldest brother, Kevin Von Erich. Kerry Von Erich as well, which is the kind of the middle child, as well as Harrison Dickinson as David Von Erich. Moira Tierney as the mother, Doris. And Holt McCallany as Fritz von Erich, the very strict father who, wants their son, wants a title in his family and drives his sons to do that. So the story is based on the true story of the inseparable von Erich brothers, spurned on by their father Fritz. We see how these brothers reach the highs and very lows of their careers as they succumb to the von Erich curse. So I read up on this thing because, being a casual wrestling fan as I am, I have heard of these and that, and reading up on the story before this movie came out, because this movie came out last year in America. It only just came out this year in Britain. It did. It's a very tragic story in that, and I will go into my likes and dislikes, where I will explain my only dislike for this is, well, I'll get onto that now in a minute and that, but yeah, pretty much the story of how his father was very strict and really wanted the main World Heavyweight Championship at the time to be in his family and that, but he never got the chance when he was young, when he was a wrestler. The father doesn't feel like the sons are getting it when they get older and that as well. It does show very good dynamic between the family and how loving they were towards each other. Thinking of Bob, I forgot his name now. Jeremy Allen White, who plays Kerry Von Erich. If you know the thing, it's Texas Tornado, if you remember, back in the late 80s, early 90s of wrestling and that. So, but I never knew he, in this movie, and it explains this movie in real life, that when he won the main championship off Ric Flair, he got into a motorcycle accident after that and lost his foot. So, being a casual wrestling fan, I never really knew that when he wrestled at WWE or WWF at the time, he had a false foot. But it does show, as well as Kevin, it shows a lot of all the bad stuff their family went through, especially the sons and that, trying to get their father's approval. It is a scene in this movie where the father literally tells them who's their favourite to their least favourite and that, but he says it's a pecking order, it can go up and down. It does. The movie mainly concentrates on Kevin Von Erich, who is technically the oldest one in his family. There was an older brother as well, but when he was a young kid, around 6 or 7 if I'm not mistaken, did die as well. But if you know the story of yours, it's so tragic that Kevin Von Erich's the only surviving member of the brothers right now in this day, and to see how David unfortunately passed away when he was on a good run going for the main heavyweight championship at the time. It was when he was in Japan, something exploded in his guts, or one of his organs and that exploded or something, and he passed away, unfortunately. Same with the younger brother, Mike. I can't remember who the other brother is, but my mate told me in work that they kind of there was another brother and they kind of merged them two together for Mike. So in this movie, Mike is kind of an aspiring musician, but his father doesn't believe that's a good way of making money and that, so kind of disheartens him for it. But after the death of David, he kind of brings Mike into the fold of the wrestling, but because he's not strong enough or big enough like the others, rips his shoulder in a match, and after a routine surgery on it, falls into a coma, and when he comes out, he's not all there. He's not like he was before, so we get the depression and that. And it's the same with Zac Efron's character, Kevin, after seeing each one of his brothers die or take their lives. It is in this movie, you see him fall into depression and stuff like that. It's a very good character-driven movie, very sad as well, and that it did have me tearing up a little bit towards the end. There's a beautiful scene at the end where where the brothers are all together again. It is, and I'll just say to keep it at that. But yeah, it's a thing. But it also shows how tough their old man was and that. But then you hear contradiction stories then of Kevin Von Erich saying that's the only part of this story he didn't totally agree with. he didn't say he doesn't think his father was as strict as they say, or like he was in this movie. But then again, he could just be protecting his father at the end of the day. But excellent movie, definitely the best movie I've seen this year. It's going to take a lot to beat this movie for me. So we will go into quick positives and negatives. So the positives are pretty much, it's a great story. It is, the acting's brilliant for this. Directing's really good as well. Well choreographed wrestling as well for this. Who, if you're a wrestling fan, Chavo Guerrero plays a small little role in this movie as well. Did do the choreography with Zac Efron, etc. for this movie, for the wrestling scenes as well. Only got a couple of negatives for this movie. One of them is, like I was going to say earlier, for a movie that takes place, pretty much starts in 1979 and then ends up in the early 90s as well. It does. A 2-hour movie, or whatever the runtime is of this movie, doesn't hold it to justice, unfortunately. This should be a mini series, and that I'm sure there is a TV show called Dark Side of the Ring, which talks about dark parts of the wrestling. I'm pretty sure this is an episode in that, so if you can find that, give it a watch and find out the story of these this family as well. But yeah, this should be at least an 8 to 10 episode mini series or limited edition series to give the story the justice it deserves. My only other one as well, they had an actor who played Ric Flair, and if you know Ric Flair and all that, the guy didn't do a good, I want to say, impression of Ric Flair, to be honest. He didn't exactly sound like him or act like him, in my opinion. That was. So they're my only two negatives of the film. Like I said, easily the best film I've seen of the year so far, even though it's early. I give this a good solid 8.5 out of 10. So, yep, that's the second movie. So we'll go straight on to the third. Right, so we're on to the third movie now in my reviews, and it's last but not least, Madam Web. This movie is directed by S.J. Clarkson. Does star Dakota Johnson as Cassandra Webb, the main actor of the movie. Sydney Sweeney, Isabella Merced, and Celeste O'Connor are the three ladies she's protecting who become Spider Women in the late future. In the future, Tahar Rahim is Ezekiel Sims, and we do have Adam Scott and Emma Roberts as characters in this movie, who I'm not really going to spoil who they are, because, to be honest, man, I think a lot of people probably ain't going to like that scene in the movie, but I didn't see it coming for some reason. I don't know why, maybe because I was out of it a little bit from the movie. It is, but when I saw it towards the end of the movie, I was like, ooh, okay, that's interesting and that. So, but yeah, we have a couple of their characters who I won't say their names because it might spoil the surprise then and that. So, a little about the movie. The plot of the movie is Cassandra Webb is a New York paramedic who starts to show signs of clairvoyance after drowning and being dead for 3 minutes. Now being able to glimpse the future, she must protect 3 young ladies from a mysterious adversary who is there to kill them and who relates to her past. And by what I mean relates to her past is Cassandra Webb's mother in the 70s was in Peru looking for a spider while pregnant with her, heavily pregnant with her, looking for a spider that can cure diseases and certain ailments and can give you super strength and stuff like that. So she's there for that. Ezekiel's there as her security team, but he's there for other reasons. He wants it for more selfish reasons. He does. So when she finds the spider, he kills the rest of her team and shoots her and steals the spider. But there's other people who are in this thing. I can't remember what they're called. Arachnid something they're called, who have properties of the spider, especially Ezekiel's character in the future, stronger, faster, and tries to save her, doesn't, but delivers the baby, and then that's Dakota Johnson's character. So yeah, so we get to the main. I say present time. It's not present time because the main story of this then takes place in 2003. So yeah, so we have Dakota character then seeing the future, seeing them characters die. So she saves them and that. So it does get to a bit more complicated for her when she finds out her powers, etc. That she got, I should say, when she was born. It was in her mother, they let a spider bite her mother. So I don't know whether that was properties into it or the pool she was in when she was thing. But she didn't get the strength and that like Ezekiel have. She has more of the thing, or she can see glimpses of the near future or more further into the future the more her powers develop. So this movie overall, what can I say really? I don't think I hated it as much as a lot of people out there. A lot of people loved the shit on this movie, to be honest. And I think I'm in the same boat for this as I am for Morbius. I didn't mind Morbius. I didn't. I think mainly because of the characters' chemistry in that movie, and I think it's the same for this. I think Dakota Johnson's probably the weakest one in this movie. It is. She is. She's good in some scenes, but she's not good in other scenes, and that it ain't so. But the rest of the characters, I think, do a really good job in this movie with the writing that they were given for this movie. It is. So the people who wrote this movie, if you saw the previous movies, they did Morbius and they did a few others. They haven't got a good track record at all. I don't think any of their movies, and I know Rotten Tomatoes not exactly something you should go by, but none of their movies on Rotten Tomato pretty much go to 30%, if I'm not mistaken. It ain't. So yeah, very poor movie overall, which kind of probably had given to a better writer, and that might have been a better movie. It is. So I'll go into my positives and my negatives. Like I said, there's some good positives. Like I said, there's some good chemistry. I did like the girls together and that. I think they did a good job. Emma Roberts and Adam Scott played pretty good. You know, they're good in the movie as well. Like I said, there's one Easter egg in it, which I won't spoil, that does involve Emma Roberts and Adam Scott's characters. It is, so I won't spoil that, but that's a good little Easter egg. And I did like the evil Spider-Man, Ezekiel. Not so much his character driven, it's kind of a boring way why he's doing what he's doing. But I like it that he just goes around and he starts killing people. So anyone in his way, he'll just kill. He doesn't care. He doesn't care at all. He'll kill policemen, normal civilians, anything to get to where he need to get to them girls and to kill them girls. It is. Kind of my negatives then is, like I said, a boring villain. He's the villain, but you don't know what he does in life. His only goal you see in this is he can see he's cursed with glimpse in the future as well, and all he sees every time he goes to bed is his demise. So these three women who get Spider-Woman powers, get powers and attack him and kill him, but it like later on in life and all. I think they give it like a 10-year span of when they do it. So he wants to take him out as soon as possible. But that's pretty much just the gist of the movie for him. It is. It's very, very weak as well. Like I said, it's a very weak story as well. It's literally a scene in this movie where she has to go back to Peru to talk, and that's literally not even in the beginning, the first third of the movie where you think it should have happened. This is towards the end of the movie. This is probably just before the third act or the start of the third act. It's very, very bad written story, to be honest. Some of the dialogue in this movie as well is absolutely awful, and there's a CPR scene in this movie as well. She's teaching the three girls CPR only to just bring it up back to the end, really, and all that. That's all it's for, which probably wasn't even needed, to be honest. It ain't. Yeah, pretty much. And I think Sony needs to stop writing main movies for these Spider-Man side characters. They don't deserve a movie of their own. Madam Web didn't deserve one. Morbius doesn't. Probably Venom could have done it, but I think they need to do a true story to him from the original comics, in my opinion. They got Craven next, which I haven't got high hopes for after watching the trailer as well, and after changing the character a bit, making him more of a good guy, which he's not. That's what makes it weird for these movies. They get all these side characters who are side characters, really, and villains in the Spider-Man universe, and giving them their own movies where they shouldn't have their own movie, to be honest. I don't think they're good enough to have their own movie, personally, with their history and that. But yeah, overall, I do think this is a very poor movie. I think I only give it 4 out of 10. It is, and yeah, I think Sony really do need to just give it a break and get some better writers or better head, in other words, to run these projects, because the 4 movies they've brought out so far, Venom was good. Venom versus Carnage was a poor movie. Morbius was a poor movie overall, really. And now this one is a poor movie as well. It is. Don't get me wrong, I don't shit on them as much as some people do. I just give them my honest critique at the end of the day. Like I said, I did like some aspects of this movie and previous one, as like I said, Morbius and stuff like that. But yeah, overall, this is a very poor movie overall, and I give it a 4 out of 10. So they are my 3 last movies I went to see. I hope you enjoyed them. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you thought of these movies if you went to see them. That is, or if you're going to go and see them. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Bye.